more than a decade after December 21st, 2012, which was the date that was said to be the end of the Mayan calendar. Why didn't the world end as many believed? Well, actually, it was all a misinterpretation from the beginning, say the experts. The Mayan calendar does not end on December 21st, 2012, and there was no Mayan prophecy that ensured the end of the world on that date. But there is another date that is also of interest. And it is the Katun 13 that could be the beginning of a new era, and that would enter the year 2043. According to Mayan theology, the world was created 5,125 years ago, a date that modern-day people would refer to as 3,114 before Christ. At that time, the Mayan calendar looked like this. On December 21st, 2012, the calendar looked exactly the same. Let's first understand a little about the cycles into which the Mayan calendar is divided. We have the Katun. It is a cycle of 400 years, of 360 days each year. The Maya, who produced numerous inscriptions in the long count system, called the days kin. The periods of 20 days received the name of winal. 18 winal were equivalent to 1 ton. 20 ton made up a Katun, and in turn, 20 Katuns made up a Katun. Rarely did the Maya use units of calendrical computation larger than the Katun. In ascending order, the Maya used the units known as Pictun, Kalabtun, Kinchiltun, and Alautun. The long count of 5,125 years includes all of the previous time cycles: Baktun, Katun, Tun, Winal, and Kin. The short count consists of 13 Katuns, each Katun of 19.7 years. That is, 256 years. There are small cycles, and within the small cycles, there are larger cycles. And within the large ones, there are much larger ones. The count of times in the Mayan calendars is very varied. There are time periods spanning thousands of years, and among these there are other minor periods, which in turn also have different times. But they are all related to each other. The people of this time only see the small cycles of 52 years, but actually each of the 7 great cycles it is said to be a human race. Among the supposed Mayan predictions, certain catastrophes of natural origin stand out, such as the impact of a large comet on Earth, the marked rise in global temperature, and the inversion of the Earth's axis due to the appearance of large sunspots. The opening of the center of our galaxy is also heralded, which would break the balance of the solar system. The Aztecs and the Mayans do not speak of chronological dates, but give symbols. They all say that in the times of the end or of change, there will be a human decadence, where man will feel full of himself, powerful, and will forget the divine, just as it happens today with our science, our politics, etc. But at the same time, we will be cruel and ruthless with our fellow men. Let's see how violence progressively increases in all areas of society. It does not matter contaminating or eliminating basic natural resources and abusing the population. What matters is the economic liquidity of that company or those people. Profits are the only important thing. The future doesn't matter at all. And the future is already here. The consequences of these attitudes have been and are pollution, rising temperatures, wars, climate change, famines, poverty, massive migrations, and diseases. Who is the originator of the current world situations? It is the human being, his ego, and his lack of love. And since these causes are very difficult to modify due to human egoism itself, due to its mechanicalness and lack of conscience, and due to the entropy in which humanity finds itself submerged, now is when what was predicted in the prophecies becomes reality. We are at a time when the great catastrophe is approaching, according to the Mayas. Before the great catastrophe comes to the world, wars will be all over the earth. And this is also affirmed by the prophecies of different sages. Wars and rumors of wars will sound everywhere. In the Chilambalam prophecies, the Wheel of the Katuns begins on Katun 11 in the following order. Katun 11, followed by the Katun 9, and so on. 7, 5, 3, 1, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, ending on Katun 13. to then start a new cycle from Katun 11. If we carefully read the Chilam Balam, we will realize that they also speak of the advances of human perversity as a determinant for the end and do not give a chronological date. Although the Mayans say that Katun 13 will begin in the year 2040 or 2043, they do not affirm that this will be the date of the end. Rather, from that moment on, when the Katun 13 begins, it could be the end. But the Katun 13 is not a period of time determined by a certain number of years. But the Katun 13, like the previous 12 Katuns, is determined by how we behave morally, spiritually, internally. An old Mayan was asked, "When do you think the great catastrophe that threatens planet Earth will arrive?" He answered, "In the Katun 13. Will your son see it?" "No, my son will not see it." "Will your grandson see it?" "Yes, my grandson will see it."